Wholesaling houses allows you to get in with no credit and little to no money. So for example, recently I found a deal about 2 or 3 hours away from me. I'd never been to that town, never even heard of that town. And I was able to get this property that's worth $125,000 fixed up. I was able to get it under contract for $55,000. Okay? Then once I got it under contract, we then end up selling it to a buyer for $65,000. Okay? So we put those two together. I have it for $55,000. The buyer is buying it for $65,000 on closing day. The buyer wires in $65,000. The seller gets $55,000. I get $10,000. Everybody goes their way. All right. And the cash buyer, he gets the property, he fixes it up and either rents it or sells it. All right, so it's a win-win across the board. Now, I know some of you people are analytical and y'all like, well, why would somebody sell me a property is worth $125,000 for $55,000? Now, in this particular case, the people inherited the property needed work. They talked to realtors. The realtor said, hey, fix X, Y, Z. Oh yeah, and I need for you to go do this and do that so that you can get the title cleaned up and everything, and didn't have any money to fix it up. They did not have any money to start the process of getting the deed in their name, being that they inherited the property and everything. So they had to call one of those We Buy House guys, which is me, to save the day. All right. So in this video, I'm gonna break this down on how to find these type of sellers all across the USA. Now, the first thing you need with wholesaling is something called a motivated seller. All right. Now, you want houses on sale, not for sale. I repeat, on sale and not for sale. The reason being you want houses on sale is because we're looking for houses at a deep discount, okay? We get the properties at a deep discount, and then from us getting them at a deep discount, we get them under contract. From us getting them under contract, we then mark up the price a little bit and then sell to what we call a cash buyer, aka an investor. And on closing day, the seller get the agreed upon amount, you get your small spread, and the buyer gets the house. Everybody's happy. So what I have you looking at is a site called Connected Investors. Now, before you sign up, if you use my link, duruleads.com, you will get a way better deal than going directly to them. You will get a 7-day free trial. And during that 7-day free trial, you are allowed to export 50 leads. Also, you can get 50 skip traces, all in the 7-day free trial for free. Now, if you do what I did and you decide to keep the product like I did, in that case, you will get 2,500 free skips a month. All right. So 2,500 free skips a month. Come on, guys. You can't beat that, right? You're going to need this service anyway. And then 2,500 free skips. Come on. All right. So check this out, right? So we need motivated sellers. Okay. So with motivated sellers, I'm going to go to my list. Now with here, we need motivated sellers. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go down to find deals and I'm going to go to property search. Okay. So let's say I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, which I am. Shout out to Buzz City, aka the Queen City. I'm going to click on filters. Now, right now, as you see, I have 267,000 results. All right. Now, automatically, my leads are motivated. Okay. They're already, this is already going to be checked. That is going to be motivated. This is automatically checked as well. Include properties with unknown number of bedrooms. So sometimes, right, if somebody bought a property, let's say in 1974, the county may not have their records updated to reflect that that is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. So that'd be empty. So you want those because those owners are either old or they don't passed on and somebody else has the house and the house has not been sold in so long, the county doesn't have the records. So you kind of want those deals. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to build a list. Okay. A list of motivated sellers. Now let me walk you through this, right? I want pre-foreclosure. Okay. I'm going to put that filter on. They have the auction properties. They have the zombie properties. Zombie properties, and they have the information where you can, if you don't know, zombie properties where the current owner is facing foreclosure and the property is currently sitting empty or vacant. Okay, so I want that as well in there because if I can find those homeowners, well, guess what? Chances are they're probably motivated to do something because they're losing the house anyway and they abandon it. So if I can track them down and say, hey, listen, you got this house over here. What if I gave you $15,000 in your pocket and you signed over the house to me and I take care of everything from there? So, all right. Now you have property lien. That means that it's a lien on the property, meaning HOA lien, county, tax lien, mechanics lien, code enforcement lien, etc. A personal lien, that can be federal tax lien, a state tax lien, a judgment, child support liens. These people can be motivated as well, but I want pre-foreclosure and zombie properties. And tax delinquent is always a good one because these people owe back taxes. Now, the tax delinquent list, that's going to be updated, right? That's going to be updated once a year because that's when the county updates it, all right? So, but for this example, I'm just going to do pre-foreclosures and zombie properties, right? And I want motivated stuff, right? Because their AI system gives me an idea of what's motivated, what could potentially be motivated. Now, this is what I like about this because I want pre-foreclosures, zombie properties, and vacant, all right? This is not like, all right, to combine. No, I want the vacant properties too. I want them to be non-owner occupied, ideally, all right? Now, these are where my results at. Whoa, they're down to this, all right? But I'm going to put some more on there. I want some out-of-state owners on that, okay? Because remember, guys, this is not like all combined. This is all the data that, I'm putting all the data on that I potentially want, right? And then I'm going to go down to here. And all I'm doing is pulling the list. I want all single family houses, okay? I took this down. You see, I took that number down. I want a minimum of 2 bedrooms, no max. Let's see, 1 bed, 1 bath. Now, ownership information, right? Now, let's take a look at this. I want a minimum of 5 years ownership. A minimum of 5 years ownership, okay? And what I'm doing, guys, is just pulling the list. Now, here, I want a max estimated value of $400,000, okay? All I'm doing now is building the list, okay? So I'm gonna go here. So now I have 22,000 potential leads with 22,264 leads, which is right here. And you see it's off market motivated because they have that with their AI, they got a feeling that these are going to be motivated, right? Cool system. So now I have my list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save search and I'm going to name this CLT list. CLT stands for Charlotte, pre-foreclosure and zombie houses, whatever. Now I'm going to hit save search. Now, you can do a description of this list so that you won't forget it. Like you can do like what I do in my list. I'll put the month and the year I downloaded it. That way I won't get confused. But that's totally up to you. Now you hit save search. Now I don't want this to go against my export, so I'm not gonna save it, but you get what I'm saying. Now then you can click it for my list. And what I like about this, they'll give you this with the numbers. Now, depending on what plan you get is how many numbers, how many skip traces they're gonna give you. So if you're on the basic plan like me, you get 2,500 skip traces, which is pretty good for me. Sometimes I gotta go up, but hey, it works, right? Now that I have my list, okay, I got my list of motivated sellers. What do I do next? Now, if I got a list of motivated sellers, what I'm going to do next is I am going to start calling these sellers, all right? You don't have to call the sellers, but you can call, you can text message, you can do mail, direct mail. Those are your three options to reach out to these people, mail being the most expensive. With cold calling, you can do it for your phone, but if you continue to do it for your phone, your number will be marked as a spam number. So if you want to go to Walmart and get a little burner phone or something for, $30, $40 and you prepaid $40 a month, that may be your best bet to cold call. And from that same Walmart number, you can do text messages. Yes, it's going to take a while, but if you're starting out in a very cheap manner, then getting all the systems that you need, etc., to do it, because the platforms will cost more if you get like a 3-line dialer, meaning that they dial out 3 sellers at once. Whoever pick up, you call them, because they have softwares like that, but it does come with a monthly fee. They got testing platforms that I promote in my course that I use, where you just upload the data and get it and start texting. Okay, so now let's say you are going through the motions, you're cold calling, and somebody says they're interested. All right, well, now you have to comp that property. So what I'm gonna do, let's say this seller was interested, so I am going to comp this property. Comp means comparable, right? So now I got all the information on this property. If you're looking up here, you see that this property is pre-foreclosure, tax delinquent, senior owner, free and clear, and high equity. So there's a few things that catches my owner. It's in pre-foreclosures. I seen the owner. Well, did this person pass? Is this person around? Did they just want to get rid of the house? Well, we're going to say that I found this person, and this is why they would be motivated, right? So now I want you, this is what I like about the description that they give you in Connected Investors. It's really like next level. So look, says located at, I had to block out the address, guys, because if not, YouTube will flag me, and I don't want to get flagged. All right. Identified by parcel number, which I had to block out. This property was purchased by Jane Doe on March 5th, 1990. This property is 52 years old, including 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, and covers an area of 0.25. Today, the property is worth around $346 with an estimated equity of $346,000. Basically saying the property's paid off. The property's condition was rated as average in the latest tax assessment conducted in 2024. Just everything else where the property is located. But you see how they telling me like when the owner bought the property and everything else, which this, gives you an idea. Okay, well, that's probably why they're motivated. And another thing I like, they give you the zoning of the property. So for my people who build houses and such like me, they give you the zoning and everything. So that's a cool thing. Of course, they have the square footage. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to comps, because we got this seller that's interested. This is the current property. The sold price when they bought it was $55,000. But guess what? That's irrelevant. We just trying to get the comparables. I don't care what you paid for the property. Once I make my offer, the deal works for me, it works for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these comps. Now, they're saying, hey, based on the 10 comps that they pulled, these are, they're saying the properties were $402,000. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through their comps, because sometimes, they can be spot on, but I want you to go by solds. Sometimes they can be spot on, and sometimes, not so much, because of if you go out a mile, sometimes you might be in another neighborhood. So what I'm gonna do is I kind of want my comps within like a half a mile for this particular neighborhood. I'm in Charlotte and I know this neighborhood, and you go a mile out, you can be in another neighborhood that has a lot better sales. So they're giving me 10 good comps, but I'm gonna remove this one. The reason why I'm gonna remove this one is some 1.2 miles. So I'm going to do a remove there. It's another 1.2. I'm going to do a remove there. I'm going to remove that. Okay. 1 mile, remove. Point 2, I like it. Point 5, I like it. Point 3, I like it. Let me remove this one. So now I got 4 comps all like within walking distance of this house. And we're at 381,000 on average, okay? So what I'm gonna do though, right? I'm gonna click on this for a second, and they have the Google images, the MLS pictures we're taking down. Now, let's look at, compare it. This was 1,400 square feet, right? So 1,400 minus 1,600, so a little bigger. It's within 1 to 200 square feet. Looks like a brick house. Mine's a brick house. This did have an extra bedroom and bath, 4.3, 3.2, but mine's a little bigger, so you probably can squeeze in that extra one. My property on the low end can probably fetch this because it's bigger, especially if I can add a bathroom and bed. Now with the square footage, they're saying it's 381, which the system is using the right formula, but I like to be conservative and I want to use actually what's sold. So I'm gonna say that this is worth $365,000. Now you can say, hey, Mr. Owner, we do have an offer for you. The house was owned for 52 years. So let's say we're gonna have to do everything. The property is 1,600 square feet. So if a property is a light rehab, we're gonna use $25 to $35 a square foot per repair. If it's a major, we're going to use that $45 to $60 a square foot, right? So in Charlotte, I'm gonna say $55 a square foot to do everything. In the house. That's update the windows, everything has to get done, all right? The house is 1,600 square feet. So I'm gonna do 55 times 16. All right, so Charlotte, that rehab number sounds about right, as crazy as it sounds, all right? Because Charlotte's expensive, it's an expensive market. That house needs about 88,000 in repairs, right? So we're gonna do about 88,000 in repairs. So let me see what's going on right here. So I'm in Charlotte, where they pay a little bit more than houses. I'm gonna show you the national average, and then I'm gonna show you a cheat code. Now, cheat code is you click on this like, yo, this got 260 in this neighborhood. Let me check this out. This got 260 in the neighborhood. Let me make sure that entity bought it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to owner info. This tells me an LLC bought it. So that means an investor bought it. So I know investors are buying in this neighborhood for 260. At bare minimum, and that was just in December. So I know they're buying for 260, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the national rule of thumb, right? So national rule of thumb, it will be, we got a value of 365 for our property, 365,000 times 0.7, okay? Equals $255,000. That's what the investor wants to be in ideally, right? This is the national rule of thumb. In your Charlottes, your Atlantas, your Nashvilles, your major cities, your LAs, your New York cities, spots in Connecticut, they're gonna do 0.75, but California, I heard as high as 0.85. But hey, listen, I'm just going by national rule of thumb right now. Minus, okay? We're going to do minus the repairs, 88,000. Minus, okay, your fee. I want you to back out at least 10,000, okay, equals. That would be your offer on this particular property, your max allowable offer, So I would start at about 150 to get there. Now, let's say that the house was updated and it doesn't need any work, and the seller's like, no way, Jose, I'm not giving up my property for that. Well, I'll take $250,000 because I did update the electrical, the plumbing, all the windows are updated. It doesn't need that much work, right? What you're saying to use. Remember, we're doing this all over the phone. So we're not even going out, to the property at this point, right? So we're doing all this over the phone. So you're like, oh, okay, well, cool. All right. Well, how much you want it? Well, I'm not taking a penny less than $250,000. I know my house needs some work, but it doesn't need that much work. I got quotes, I need $250,000. This is the national rule of thumb. This is gonna apply in most situations, all right? But if you're in a major city, you have what's called specialty neighborhoods. This neighborhood, since I'm in Charlotte, people pay a little bit more for property. You can use this as a cheat code and say, all right, Mr. Seller, what if I can make $245,000 work? They're like, no, 250 is my bottom line, take it or leave it. You're like, all right. And then you lock it up for $250,000. You can then call this particular cash buyer and say, hey, listen, I got this property on 123 Main Street. I'll sell it to you for $260,000. It's bigger than the one you got, making yourself $10,000. Okay? Now, the national rule is what I showed you. And then I showed you by using this as a cheat sheet to see what investors are paying for properties in that particular area. All right? Now, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a major city. Real estate is crazy here. The national rule of thumb may not work here. But if I go an hour out plus Charlotte, the best believe those investors are doing it by being 70% all in. You know what I mean? 75% all in. They are following the rules. But in Charlotte, it's not like that. So please keep that in mind. I showed you 2 ways, all right, to get your number. All right, so guys, now let's say we got it under contracts. And I know some of you are like, well, where do I get contracts? I'm going to give those to you. Go to durucontracts.com. Also, check out the description for these links of what I'm promoting, please. Now, let's say that you need a cash buyer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to buyer search, right? And then buyer search, I am going to take that out where it says Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to do by zip code, right? And I'm going to just click on that. Last 6 months, right? I get active buyers, all right? I can put filters on this, all right? Last 6 months, what they buying at, etc. I want people who bought single families because I have a single family house. Now I got 49, all right? Remember, if you do the 7-day free trial at duruleads.com, that's leads, LEADS.com. You're going to put that on the screen too, duruleads.com. You can export 50. So if you export these cash buyers, you got their phone number. Hey, listen, I got the deal. You know what I'm saying? So listen, we got that. I'm going to just put that one on. That is a single family house. I'm not going to put a minimum cash buyer because if you bought one and you're interested in buying mine, that's cool. I don't care about percentage or anything. So now I got 49 cash buyers for one deal. So what I'm going to do is I am going to view. They got the average cash value and all that, but I don't need that. All right, I'm going to just view my 49. So now I got 49 people that I need to call to see if they want to buy my property. All right. So let's say that somebody does. All right. So guys, then I'll call a cash buyer and say, hey, I got this property at 123 Main Street. You interested? And let's say the 5th guy says, hey, I'm interested. Let me just get inside. You can either send him pictures and arrange for him to get inside. And then he gets inside and tells you everything, what's going on, and say, hey, listen, I can make the number work, $260,000. You will then send him an assignment, okay? An assignment, all right, of contract. So you have a contract with the seller, an assignment with him. You can do all this online. You put those two together. On closing date, seller gets $250,000. You get $10,000. He gets the house, the asset, which we seen was worth $360,000, etc. All right. So that is wholesaling explained step by step. Now, if you want more in-depth, detailed conversations with me, a course, how to do all this, and if you are, in a situation where you're like, hey, listen, I need all your software you use in your business, please check out that pinned comment, because in that pinned comment, I am accepting students right now. You can join my course if you want to get in. I give you all my softwares and everything else. If you are interested in this software and getting free contracts, check out the description. I'll have the websites for those. But if you're interested in, you want to learn more, get some coaching, etc., hey, check out that pinned comment. I'm taking on more students. Hey, listen, in the meantime, check out this wholesaling video next to me. Hey, I'm Nasser, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a doer because I actually do this business. Peace.